Welcome back to Yelling and Screaming. Hopefully, an internet issue-free edition. Sean, how you doing, man?
Not too bad. New environment. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. I just killed some leftovers right here. Been eating them for days, and it's not going to stop. But we're back to football on Sundays, and it's been a good week. Been a good little break.
I think this is one of my favorite weeks of the football season, just in general, between everything that's going on in college basketball and then the college football rivalry week and then NFL Thanksgiving. It's just a lot of fun. And these Thanksgiving games, I feel like were the best we've seen in a long time. I don't know if it's because usually either the Lions or the Cowboys suck. But man, we had some exciting games.
We did. We definitely got some more scoring than I'm used to seeing on Thanksgiving games. And honestly, a lot of time they've been one-sided, very one-sided. We expected the team who was going to win to end up pulling it out. And so it was a fun to see the parity of the league and see some teams, battling it out. Really going down to the wire, seeing some teams flourish that we didn't expect. So it was a really good week for a really good Thanksgiving day for football. And you are right. I mean, you have football how many days this week now? Four, five, six? I can't even count it. Like, sorry, but this happens to be one of those really good weeks for football. If you're a fan, you can't look away from the TV.
So we've talked about it a couple times, but I just wanted to remind everybody that the Lions and the Cowboys are Thursday night football next week, which I thought was a really cool little spot where we don't have those weird short weeks, long weeks. We go right back to it. These teams play again Thursday night. I really, really like that format.
That'll be a fun game too. Both these teams, the Cowboys, weirdly enough, aren't out of the hunt just yet. They're winning games now, and their defense is starting to show up a little bit more than what we saw in the earlier season. I don't know what happened, but I guess they figured some things out, and this week was just a little more evidence of that. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. Mahomes played a great game. The man had a great passer rating. Didn't give the ball up. But he got outdueled, and that's what you want to see from your quarterback. So I think this is going to be a fun game this week for the Cowboys and the Lions.
So, like, real quick before we get too deep into Thursdays, if I had told you that your conference championship matchups at the beginning of the year were Bears and Rams, Patriots and Broncos, how many of those had you gotten right? Maybe two?
Maybe one. I would have maybe given it to the Rams. I mean, after obviously last season was a heartbreaker, and they really just brought really really good pieces to the table. Did I think Ben Johnson was going to do this with the Bears? Absolutely not. I thought maybe he needed one season to kind of get warmed up in that system, another one to really get Caleb where he need to be. But it seems like they got things clicking right now. They're winning when they need to. And then on the other side, I mean, nobody saw that shit coming. I
The
don't think
Patriots,
anybody saw
man,
that
they
coming.
look so good.
It's crazy. And I mean, hey, Colts still looking good.
Right
It's
there. They are
right
right
there,
there.
man. So it is weird to think that like this is the new NFL. But I'm excited for it because at the end of the day, like we need teams to really show why everyone plays in this league and what the moves really matter for. And if every year we just had the same teams over and over and over again, like I don't know about you, but I got bored as shit watching the Patriots play after championship number 4 or 5, whatever it was that they just kept going to. I was like, is anybody even trying anymore? Like, the division was trash. The conference was just
Yeah.
him battling Peyton
Well,
half
that
the time. It
helps,
was like
right? I mean, like
it's
when the rest of
hurt.
your division is down when you're up, like nothing can stop you. And I'm glad there's a little more parity sneaking back into the NFL in that like medium to high level because it's always there, at the highest level of the sport, and then kind of across the middle band. But like that in between there is where it seems to kind of fall off. You got like the same division winners, but we've got some interesting ones as far as divisions are concerned. We'll get to a little bit later. Let's talk Packers Lions. I'm ready to crown Jordan Love. This is not a Jordan Love podcast. If you've watched our
Right.
episodes, you know how me and Sean feel about Jordan Love. The dude can't miss on Thanksgiving. What a game from Jordan Love.
Congratulations to Jordan Love on winning on Thanksgiving. I'm not crowning him with shit. All right. We know for a fact that that all season the Packers have been one of the best teams at and offensively at playing against man coverage, and that's what the Lions' bread and butter is. We also know that the Packers do really well against certain pass rushes, and that's one that Detroit has. This is a divisional game. These teams play each other twice a year. Like I can see how they understand how to scheme against each other better, and yeah, I'm not crowning Jordan Love on anything. I mean, yes, he got the win here. It was a convincing win. It really told me that the Packers were better than the Lions this year, and I can stop worrying. I can stop expecting the Lions to, put up those points at the end of the game that we saw in the last couple of seasons, where they would score in bunches, halfway through the fourth quarter. The Packers showed them, nah, bro, this is it. This is for us. Like we're ready to make that move. And again, that tie is going to mean so much more now. Closing out the end of this season. So, I mean, kudos to them for getting the win here. It was a good win. It was a good divisional win. It matters so much in that pressure that they have with the Bears in that division as well. So, good for the Packers.
Michael Parsons is a monster. If I'm Jerry Jones's family, I am using that trade as something to take to the lawyer to prove senility, to make sure that we can take over the family business before it's ruined. I I wasn't huge on Parsons, obviously a talent. Um, Man, the Cowboys made him look way worse than he was, and he looked great. So the Packers being armed with a player like that for essentially nothing, because they're the Packers, right? They weren't going to draft a quarterback. They weren't going to draft anything of meaning. No wide receivers, no quarterbacks, no defensive backs. They would have drafted two more tight ends with those picks. So to be able to land Micah Parsons, what a trade and what a difference it has made. Without him, I don't know that the Packers are in the battle, and he's made Rashawn Gary look like a world beater on the other side of the line. So amazing trade. Obviously, they win this game. Is it safe to call this like the arrival? Is this Wicks? Like, is he here now?
I liked his play in this game. I think Love just started really getting the ball to him in the right spots. Earlier on the season, anybody who's heard me on this podcast has heard me talk about how Love throws off his back foot. And today, and we got to see him actually put the ball where he needed it for his receivers. So I think Wicks, I think Golden, I think those guys are better than Love had made them look earlier on in the season. And I think he's finally starting to understand what their speed is, where his placement needs to be for those guys to be able to get and be integral in these plays. And that's what I saw. That was really the Achilles heel for me. No pun intended. But that was really what I expected. At some point when he figured that out, then they would become a much more dangerous team. And earlier on in the season, I expected them to be a much better team. And now we're starting to see that closing out the season, which is the right time for you to get hot.
Moving to Chiefs Cowboys, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call it Dak Magic. Uh,
Ugh.
we give Dak a lot of
Yeah.
shit, and all the guy's really done is win regular season games. This is a big one. I thought this was Mahomes' best game in the last two seasons. He
Great
looked
game.
sharp, looked crisp, and they wasted it. This defense is not good for the Chiefs. They have a lot of holes. Watching Andy Reid get redder and redder and redder as the game went on, and the defense continued giving up big plays. I had forgotten how much I missed that with the Eagles. I'm just like picturing McNabb throwing a boneheaded interception and Andy Reid looking like a tomato. And we haven't had a lot of that with the Chiefs. And I missed it. I missed it a lot. What do you have on Chiefs and Cowboys here?
Honestly, you're right. I mean, it was Mahomes' best game. He looked clean throughout the entire thing. The scores, like he just played really good football, but he got outdueled. And sometimes that happens. I'll tell you right now. Like I would not have walked into this game and thought that Dak was going to play as well. But again, we see him regularly, win regular season football games. Um, Again, I don't have any skin in the game for Dak for me because at the end of the day, I need to see him do something in the playoffs. Like this whole you like he cool. You want to be Philip Rivers? Cool. You want to be Tony Romo? Cool. You want to put up some stats? You want to get close to it? You want to be an MVP caliber candidate, but you got to win when it matters. I would rather have a quarterback who had a 30 passer rating, but got my team the wins when he needed in tight games than a guy who can throw for 300, 350 yards in a game and my team still lose. Like, it doesn't matter to me. So I think that that's my biggest issue with Dak, is that there's been plenty of games where he's played well, but the team needed just a little bit of that oomph. Maybe, you slow the ball down, and run some more clock. Maybe you take a couple more rollouts here and there, and kind of get them to have more play clock going. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is when they scored. Cowboys are one of the best teams in the league. I mean, earlier on the season, we saw them score 30, 40 points like it was nobody's business. And their offense is capable of doing so. But, as a team, and that defense really finally started to pick up. But as a team, I need to see more. I need to see them win when it matters. This regular season shit it's all staging. It's all set up. Get the wins in the playoffs, bro.
And I think, like, from a game flow standpoint, if I had told you Patrick Mahomes had 4 touchdown passes and they scored 2 minutes into this game, you start to get the idea that the Cowboys got blown out in this one. And they were there. They led for large chunks of this game on the back half. And I'm not convinced that we've seen the floor for the Chiefs defense. They got some more big games coming up here, and they're pretty much out of it. If they lose another game, you're right there. To think that they go 500 or better on the back half, I don't know if it's realistic anymore. They're the 3rd best team in their division by pretty wide margin. They play the Texans. I don't know. I don't know if the Chiefs have a road to the playoffs at this point.
They do, but it's not a road. It's rocky, it's bumpy, it's unpaved, and they're gonna have to fight in order to get there. For them to catch up to the Broncos is pretty much impossible with the way that their schedule is working out and the way the Broncos are playing right now. They could catch the Chargers. They're not very far behind the Chargers, but that's still an uphill battle, especially with the way the Chargers season is gonna close out. Playing against the Texans, obviously, we have a couple of different scenarios there. We'll talk about the Texans later, but I think that at the end of the day, I think that they would have to win out. Like, there's no way that they could. They're not going to make the playoffs with less than 10, 11 wins. It's just not. It's just not happening right now in this NFL.
Weird game. Really weird game. Bengals Ravens. Bengals win this one 32-14, and not necessarily in the way you would think. A lot of field goals in this game. In a vacuum, I guess, defensively, the Ravens perfected bend but don't break defense. They gave up 70 yards every single drive, and for the most part, kept the Bengals out of the end zone. Burrow obviously comes back and throws a couple, but if I'm the Ravens defense here, I'm not upset with giving up 32 points when so many of them were field goals.
6 field goals, dude, is insane.
I don't have like a huge problem with it. The problem, however, is the other side of the ball, where you only score 14 points. And we've talked about this with the Ravens before. What was going through your head as you were watching Lamar navigate the mighty Bengals defense?
He is not good when he is injured. He's not a guy who I think can play injured. And I think that that's not only affecting his physical play, but also his mental play. He's missing open receivers. Something that you don't see from an MVP player. Like he's fumbling. And that was the big, just Lamar, three giveaways. Like, that's, no one's winning that game. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like, your quarterback does that, but then you start to lose that energy, and your receivers fumbling and your tight ends fumbling. You're like, what the hell is going on here? There's too much. There's not enough drive and not enough urge on these guys for in my opinion right now, as to the seriousness of the situation. They don't seem as committed. They're playing really sloppy. And I know earlier on in the season, they, after the Lamar injury, when they decided they were going to come back, they got rid of everything in the locker room. that was a distraction. That was supposed to be the big thing, the leadership there. But I mean, yeah, that worked for a couple of games and it got you back into the hunt. But now, like your quarterback playing injured, playing hurt, and I don't know if I call it an injury or call it being hurt. Whatever the case is, he's just not there mentally right now. He doesn't have it, and I don't know if he's the best product to put on the field at this point in time. Do you give him another week? Do you start Huntley and let Lamar actually figure out what's going on with his feet? I mean,
it's not Huntley, it's Rush.
Oh, it's Rush now. Because Huntley was the last one, was he?
No, they played Rush earlier this year while he was out, while Lamar was out.
Gotcha. Well,
I don't know if Huntley's on the team, but either way. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Either way, I just think that I don't know if he's the best product on the field for them right now. Obviously, his pedigree is still there. You still expect him to every week go out and compete, but it's just tough watching the team flounder around. And it's something that we've seen in a couple of good quarterbacks in the NFL too recently. So it's not a good look.
Would you say that it's likely that the Ravens are in trouble?
I think that the Ravens still make the playoffs.
Man, I get nothing on that. I get nothing on that, Joe.
Hold on. Let me finish. I think that the Ravens are likely to still make the playoffs as long as the Steelers continue to not play great football. The Ravens are going to probably just edge them out in the division. With that being said, I do not expect that the Ravens will win a playoff game. I think that they immediately go down if they make it to the playoffs. It's the difference. The difference is either they lose the last game of the season, they don't make the playoffs, or they win the last game of the season, they make the playoffs, they lose the first game of the playoffs. I just don't see them as a team that's well-rounded enough and playing against one of these other teams in the wild card. These guys are hungry, they're young, they're excited. I just don't see how they are going to take a win in the playoffs. And so we're just going to have another instance of Lamar underperforming. We're going to hear another instance of the Ravens underperforming, and we know where their weaknesses are. We've seen them. We've seen their offensive line struggle all season, and obviously that compounds on your quarterback's injuries. Usually, when a quarterback gets injured multiple times in a season, it's probably because his offensive line is not doing their job. That's just the nature of the game, and we've seen him over the last couple of years be a successful offensive line behind his ability to run, his ability to make plays on the move. Now he doesn't have that same ability, or he's hampered by it, or his mental state's not there. And the offensive line also struggling. It's just not a good look for them. I think next year they got some things they need to do in order to really round out this team.
Just a note, Huntley is the backup. He was also hurt, and that's why Rush played 4 games.
Gotcha.
Not good, however you slice it. The Friday night game, however, was entertaining. Bears beat the Eagles 24-15. To take first place in the NFC-ish. This was a fun one and not really what I expected. Obviously, the Bears ran wherever they wanted to. 2 running backs with more than 125 yards rushing. That was not really a hole that we had seen from the Eagles yet this season. What do you have on Bears-Eagles?
So this was a game, funny enough, nobody really thought about or talked about as a revenge game. Nobody thought about or talked about it as a revenge game. C.J. Gardner-Johnson knew the Eagles' entire offensive scheme. So yeah, he also knows their whole defensive scheme. So yeah, and he was an integral part of that team in previous seasons. And guess what? They looked terrible. At the end, they looked terrible. They got sliced and diced, and I mean, the play call was exactly what you needed. I mean, Caleb didn't have to do anything. Now, granted, I will say this: he still threw 36 passes. He had still had a sub 50% passer rating. So it wasn't like he had a great game, but his job was to make sure that they didn't turn the ball over in important places and hand the ball off as much as possible, and that's what he did. So kudos to Ben Johnson, kudos to that offense for figuring that out and using the Eagles' weaknesses against them. Yeah, the Eagles are in trouble. And I think we've seen that they've been in trouble. They are playing like the Chiefs did last year, where their offense isn't doing what we expected, and their defense has been saving them in games. I mean, 24 points isn't a blowout by any means. The defense didn't do terrible. They did badly. They only gave up 24 points, but they had a chance in this game and a couple chances to really do what they needed to do. AJ Brown, 130 yards receiving, like they decided to let him cook, let him be open, let him do what he needed to do because the Eagles cannot beat you with only AJ Brown. They need him and Smitty clicking on all cylinders. Saquon's been a shell of himself this season. We haven't seen it. Obviously, the O line's been a little injured. We've seen some differences in some blocking in the O line. We've had to change schemes. I think that the OC is cooked. I know that he's played well for some other teams before this, but I just don't know if he's the right fit for this type of offense.
And I look at just the time of possession. Bears hold the ball for 40 minutes of this game. And that might be a repeatable blueprint for other teams the Eagles still need to face. Obviously, you need to be successful running the ball to do that. But at least on paper, the secondary of this Eagles team has been where you target. It's where you go when you're trying to beat the Eagles. And the Bears kind of rejected that. We had a lot of short routes. Part of that is Caleb Williams' inability to throw down the field. But the Bears did a really, really good job with interior rushes and managing the clock. They sucked the air out of the stadium and took the lead and then kind of sat on it. And yeah, to your point, Caleb Williams will never be like a 4,000-yard passer. He's not that guy.
So he's a perfect Bears quarterback.
Right?
He's a perfect Bears quarterback.
Right? How many times have we said it? Like, wins are really the only stat that matters. But if you're looking for cracks in the armor for the Bears, the passing game is still anemic. I mean, Cole Kmet, 3 for 36, was the leader, the game leader. And even in a game where you're controlling the ball, you need to have the threat of a passing game. I'm just not sure they have it. Obviously, it didn't matter much in this one. The Bears kind of controlled the pace from the beginning. But as I'm thinking about the rest of their schedule, playing the other good teams in the NFC North, and then the potential playoffs, I'm not sure it's something that they are going to be able to do to other teams. I'm not sure it's something they're going to be able to do to the Eagles again.
No, so I don't think that the Bears will be able to do this to the Eagles again. I just didn't see it. Part of the reason why I don't see it too is because we watched them basically negate the Eagles' pass rush, or at least as best as they possibly could. They negated their pass rush by allowing those guys to get upfield and get behind the offense, and the offense coming up the middle. So they were able to alleviate that. I think the Eagles scheme differently next time. Obviously, getting a 250 plus rushing yards against you is fucking embarrassing. You don't let that happen again with a pass rush like that. So I think that the Eagles definitely scheme differently against them if they end up seeing them again. So I don't see this being a repeat offense. And in that instance, Caleb would have to do a little more in order to get this team to win. But yeah, great win for them. Kudos to going into Philly and coming out at the dub. And Philly, 2 losses in a row, not looking good right now. Or what, they lose 2 of the last 3 or 3 of the last 4 or something like that? Like, they're not looking good right now. Yeah, their offense is struggling way more than they needed to. They had one breakout game with Jalen Hurts, and after that it's been crickets. And so they really need to pick it up.
And obviously a big game for seeding. This one could matter a lot.
Oh yeah,
but
I don't think Philly's scared of anybody. I don't think they're scared of anybody.
Well, and you shouldn't be. And I don't know what advantage you actually have in Philly. That it's weather. I get it's loud, and I understand that.
Oh, it ain't just loud; it's angry, bro. I don't
think. They'll throw batteries at you.
It's different. I mean, think about my thing is when you go through a city, as a team, and you I don't know how LA looks when it comes to the Rams or the Chargers. I don't know how Kansas City looks when it comes to the Chiefs. I don't know how Cleveland looks when it comes to the Browns, but I know for a fact that when you go to Philly, every fucking thing is decked out in Eagles. I'm talking the cement trucks that are in the city are decked out in Eagles. I'm talking every store that you're at is decked out in Eagles. During football season, the Eagles are the only thing that anybody's going to ever talk about. You walk on the street and you hear "Go Birds," you better say it back. So I know that going through that city is definitely not a benefit to anybody. It's loud, it's angry. You go into a restaurant and they find out who you are, oh, you're getting shit on by anybody in the restaurant, fans. And it's just their way of life. You can love it, you can hate it, whatever it is. They're very passionate people. So it's definitely a benefit if you're playing at home. If you're an Eagles fan, if you're an Eagles player.
We've got a monstrous, potentially, game of the week. Make sure you are hopping on Chainlink and making your picks. Texans and Colts is our game of the week, and this is a pivot point game. This is the return of CJ Stroud. This is a really important game for the Colts to keep pace with the Patriots and Broncos in the AFC. So what are you looking for here on either side of the ball? What needs to happen for you to feel good about either one of these teams moving forward?
Well, for the Colts, the name of the game is JTT. Like he is their workhorse. He's gonna carry this team. Jones plays off of the ability of the defense to focus on Jonathan Taylor. He can hit the receivers when the defense is focused on Jonathan Taylor. If that defense starts to sit back there and force him to do more work in the pocket and find receivers, and he's sitting there he's not going to have a great game. So I think that's the benefit. That's what they're looking for. For the Texans, their offensive line is garbage. We already know this. They're going to have to rear their ugly heads and just get after Daniel Jones on defense. And then their offense just is going to have to score when they have the opportunities to do so. Take the field goals when you get them. Take the big plays downfield, because there's always a chance that that's going to happen. They have some solid receivers that can actually make things happen with the ball. So I think that's their best bet. And it's going to be a fun game, I think. It definitely matters more than we realized it was going to. Houston kind of making the move back and saying, hey, look, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're still going to be knocking on that door. We looked at the Colts and said, oh, shit, this is it. 7-0? Like, what's going on here? They're really killing it. And then they go 1-3 and like, oh, we brought them back down to reality. Okay, this feels more like what we expected from these teams.
Yeah, 1 game up on the Jags, 2 games up on the Texans. This division is alive and well, except at the bottom. We'll talk about the Titans later.
So tight.
For me, I agree with you. Straight X's and O's. Let me just be real. This is JTT. Mm-hmm. If he can dictate pace, cool. But that's no fun to talk about. For me, this game is about CJ Stroud. And it's simple. CJ is back, so the Texans lose. CJ Stroud's a bad quarterback. He is probably still all cloudy headed from his concussion. Daniel Jones will have more completions, more touchdowns, fewer interceptions, and more yards than CJ Stroud in this game. This will not be close. I have the Colts winning this by 3 scores. CJ Stroud should not be an NFL quarterback and is not their best option to win this game.
And you got Davis Mills.
Davis Mills would be Davis Mills. They only lose by 2 scores.
I think that CJ Stroud is used to having to do so much with this offensive line that he might be moving more than they need him to. And it is his responsibility as the quarterback to figure these things out for himself. I think Davis Mills just sits there, and those guys just block in front of him, and he gets the ball out quicker than Stroud does. I think in some of those situations where he's more likely to get sacked. With that being said, CJ Stroud is a significantly better quarterback than Davis Mills. I don't know where you're.
Davis Mills undefeated. Davis Mills undefeated.
Okay, by that logic, then Malik Willis is the best quarterback for the Packers in the last 2 years.
Also, I think I've said that on this show.
You did on this show. Yes. I get you. And by that logic, right. By that logic, Cooper Rush, the best quarterback that the Cowboys in the last 2 years. Look,
I
great.
believe I've said that as well.
I know you have, and that's the point that I'm making. Is that
I
sometimes you
am
say
nothing if
dumb
not
shit.
consistent, Sean. Okay, I
You
might not be
are.
right, but I
You
am consistent. All right, there are shit quarterbacks in the NFL, and there should not
Uh,
be.
and then there's Jameis Winston who should be starting, but we're not gonna talk about that right now.
So,
Anywho, I will
well,
say
here, jokes aside, let me give you one positive about this Houston team. I think Woody Marks might be the future, and if they can improve their offensive line play, Woody Marks is going to be really important for CJ Stroud going forward. Um, I think his field vision and his ability to cut back against the play is superior to any other running back Stroud has played with. I want to see a breakout game from him before I'm like all in. But what we've seen in small sample size is that Woody Marks has the explosive playability and the grinder ability where he can fit into an offense where Stroud is moving and take some of the pressure off of him. More importantly, take some of the hits off of Stroud. His pass
that's
blocking is
important.
top notch, and he can carry the ball in the middle. So I think Woody Marks is the key to this Houston team, with the caveat being they really need to address this offensive line. But I want to see more from Woody Marks. I'm excited for what he could mean for this offense.
Yeah, I know they were hoping for more from Chubb. I know that they were obviously, the mixing going to IR. So you next man up, and when you get the opportunity, you gotta do the best you can. You have to put yourself in the best situation as a running back to be able to, you know, give your team the chance to win. And I think that he actually fits well in the system. And I'm a guy who I love a running back that's going to give you. I don't care about a dual threat. I need a three-part back. All right, I need a guy who's going to receive. I need a guy who's going to run downhill. I need a guy who's going to block for my quarterback. That guy is my guy. So Marks definitely looks like he's going to be a good fit in this system, and he's getting his opportunity now. And he's got to make the best of it. And it definitely, the more you protect Stroud, the more time he has, the more he can hit those receivers. So having an offensive line that's good is something that he hasn't had yet in a while. And I don't know if they're going to do it in the offseason, but they fucking better, because it's a waste of money to have a good quarterback with a shitty offensive line. But also having a back in that backfield that's got good vision, that can see and can pop those guys and keep them off your quarterback, is definitely a benefit as well. So we definitely want to see Marks putting in that work. And honestly, this could be a tighter game, in my opinion, than Rick says. But hey, who am I? They gotta see each other again toward the end of the season to close out. So maybe this is just the buffer. Maybe this is obviously, as a home game, you get a little more love from it. Maybe the away game is where the Texans finally figure it out. Who's to say? But it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Inactives are starting to roll in, so make sure you keep us up on your screen. But if you have betting or fantasy lineups to set, inactives are coming. I'll give you any big ones that I see hit. But Stroud is expected to play in this game today. Getting into the main slate, actually not bad. I first looked at this slate and I'm like, this is gross. There's a bunch of shitty games. And then I got into a little more of my research, and these are kind of fun. These are kind of fun games. 49ers, Browns. Niners are 5.5-point road favorites. Sean, this team is known for their quarterback talent identification, scouting. I can't think of any quarterback the Browns have missed on, at least not in recent history. Shedeur Sanders going to get the start in this one. Sean just dying. If I told you that the Browns won this game, what would Sanders' stat line have to be?
Oh, well, there's three stat lines that are going to matter. Number one is going to be turnovers. Do they win the turnover battle? Does Shador throw picks off his back foot trying to escape, or does he get the ball, throw it away when he needs to, and keep his team on the field? That's number one. Number two for me is going to be rushing yards. I think that he's going to have to get out of the pocket and be able to make some things happen with his feet. So those two are going to be the two that I probably look at the most from Sanders. Pass yards, yeah, obviously he's a quarterback. He's gonna, that matters. But to me, the two biggest things are going to be rush yards and the turnover battle for him.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely, but if you're the Browns, you're looking for development, right? If they're
Mhm.
truly going to give Sanders an extended look here at the end of the year, it needs to start right here. He needs to make good decisions. He needs to perform. The Niners, I think we would both agree, are the better team on paper, eye test, NFL.
Mm,
But it
record.
is a road game. It is cold. It's cold as shit in the Midwest right now. Um, I think the Niners game and Christian McCaffrey specifically will put this out of reach for the Browns. But if I looked up and it was the fourth quarter and this was 17-17, I don't think I'd even be shocked by it.
You don't think Miles Garrett's gonna have that much impact?
I mean, he
Miles
will, right?
Garrett's on a
But
fucking
Purdy,
tear
like
right now.
all Purdy does is get sacked. So like I think it's like built into that line. Like
Yeah,
Niners
but he's
five and
gonna
a
stay.
half
He gotta
assumes
stay
three
alive.
sacks.
He's gonna be
True.
alive.
Well, but if he goes out, they just plug in Mac Jones, who's the exact
Miles
same person. So
Garrett. All right, no. The most important number for me is gonna be Miles Garrett's sacks in this game. That's really the number I care about. Give
who's
me,
the
give me
third quarterback? That might come into play.
third Jawan Johnson somehow. Actually,
It's
Christian
probably it's
McCaffrey is the
probably
third quarterback.
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey
Wildcat.
is the third quarter.
Curtis Rourke.
Whew.
Indiana. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh boy. I'm gonna keep my thought. I'm gonna keep my thoughts to
Let that
myself.
one go. Let that one go. Let that one go. We got we got a lot more games on the slate. Let's get through.
The same guy. All right, Jags, Titans. As we were just saying, the Jags are only a game back of the Colts now. You have been on the Jags all year. You've liked this
Mhm.
team.
I
What
don't
do they
know.
need to do against the worst team in the NFL to show you forward progress? Obviously, a win is important. But what do you want to see from this offense?
Well, would it have to be? It's got to be dominant. I mean, you need to see. You need what you really want to see is a high completion percentage from Trevor Lawrence. I want to see balls going down the field, getting to the receivers as opposed to just some dump offs. And I'd like to see him stay clean. If he stays clean, then that's really all you can ask for your quarterback is stay off your back, get the ball to the receivers down the field, and then give those guys the opportunity to get yak. At the end of the day, like we all know the Titans are not a very good team. They're playing at home. The Jaguars can't overlook them, and I think that might be the one thing that you see in a game like this is that they're looking past the Titans, and the Titans can surprise them. Also, special teams matters. People forget about it, but it matters. And the Titans, for what it's worth, their return man is not a bad one. DK is not bad. He can catch you with one. So if I see one score coming from special teams today, I wouldn't be surprised. But otherwise, I don't expect the Titans to do too much offensively. The Colts, the Colts and the Jaguars are in a divisional fight, and I think the Jags are going to put their best product on the field today against this team, and hopefully try to take that spot.
I am very excited. I have a meaningless game week 13 for Q&W here. But I want the Jaguars to score like 50 times just so DK can return kicks. Electric. I love watching DK. I love the twice a game that the Titans are actually shown on Red Zone because there's big returns by DK because they don't do anything on offense. Saints Dolphins. I'm actually kind of interested in this one. The Saints secondary is better than people know because the team sucks. But I think A-Chain is the key here for the Dolphins. If they can set the tone with him, he is on a pace to be like one of the greatest Dolphins running backs of all time across his first couple seasons, which there's a lot that goes into that statement, but
it's not saying too
like,
much.
man, Mercury. Nah, I like A-Chain. He's fun to watch. But the Saints secondary is pretty good. So if they can collapse down on a wide receiver core that at least gets Waller back,
Mhm.
I think they'll have to really lean on him to win this game. But I think the Dolphins close this one out.
Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate the the shout out to all the Dolphins running back pedigree, but in reality, they tend to have short lived careers.
Yeah, you're forgetting the
They
Wildcat.
don't.
Come on.
They tend to
Ronnie
have shorter-lived
Brown.
careers. Even Ricky Williams. Like, come on now. Look, they just tend to have shorter-lived careers. All right. I can't name a 9, 10 year or a 6, 7 year running back for the Dolphins. They're guys who stay there for a short period of time. Tua can't turn the ball over. If he can see what's happening on the field, then they'll win this game. Uh, you know, the Saints have not been the best performing team this season. Their secondary is solid, but when you can set the tone with the play actions, with A-Chain pushing the ball down the field, then you give your quarterback the best opportunity to make plays. And if they can do that, then Miami's going to win this game. Also, Miami playing at home definitely helps them. Obviously, we know about their scheme and field, so we'll see how it plays out. But I think they have the best opportunity to win this game. And weirdly enough, almost be a 500 team, which is baffling to me.
Well, and if the Patriots weren't so damn good this year, I mean, the Dolphins are kind of there. They're 3 games back of the Bills.
What are we even talking about here? With the tiebreaker, don't
they? Falcons, Jets. I like the Jets here. I think the Jets win this game. Bijan can't do it all by himself.
He really can. And is London in today? Is he still out?
I think he's done for the year. He's out this week. Right? I think he won't play another game. Why would you? I mean, they're technically in first place. They won't be, and you don't have a quarterback. So, I don't know why he'd come back. If I'm his agent, I'm telling him he's hurt till January.
Oh wow. Okay, understandable. Look, I mean, it really doesn't do them too much of a difference. You're right to come back after this. I mean, they're only 2 games back in the division, dude. Like we looked at the Bucks and we said, hey, they're gonna pull out in this division. And now look at it. We got the Panthers sitting there. We got Atlanta 2.5 games back or so. Like it's tight. If I'm in Atlanta, I'm putting my best product on the field whenever I can. I mean, the Jets are going to play spoiler as much as they can for the rest of the season because they're not a good team. So if you're Atlanta, you want to beat the Jets here. You want to put yourself in the best situation to say, hey, look, we can still make this. We can still close out this season and potentially get make a push for the playoffs. Play a little devil's advocate there. Play a little spoiler. So I'm expecting that Atlanta's going to try to put a good product on the field. I did have the Jets edging it out, but now looking, I'm saying maybe Atlanta takes this one. Maybe Atlanta takes it. Maybe Bijan decides, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm going to run with it.
I know the Jets, man. Shout out our boy Jersey Jason. The Jets are going to do everything they can as an organization to fuck themselves out of a draft pick. So they're going to beat the Falcons. They're going to beat the Dolphins. They're going to beat the Jaguars. They're going to beat the Saints. They're going to beat a Patriots team that's on rest. And they'll lose the last game to the Bills. The Jets have 5 more wins. The Jets have 5 more wins this year.
What crack are you smoking? You talking about the same Jets that have 2 wins right now. You said they're going to close out the season.
7 wins. 7 wins for the Jets, and they screw themselves out of their draft pick. They don't have any more real games on their schedule. The game on January 4th against the Bills are going to need. So they're going to lose that game because the Bills are going to be fighting for a playoff spot. But on December 28th, the Patriots are going to have the bye locked up. They're going to win that game. The Saints suck. The Dolphins suck. They beat the Jaguars this week. The only other game on that schedule that's crazy is Jets-Jags on December 14th. So throw that one out. There's 4 more wins. This Jets team, I think 6 wins is the floor here because as an organization, they are incapable of losing when they're supposed to lose.
You know what? I'm gonna have to let you cook on that. Let's put a shot. Let's put one on that. I want to put one on the Jets closing out the season. We're gonna put one on the Jets closing out the season with
5.5. I'll take over 5.5.
Over 5.5 wins?
Yeah. They're at 2 right now. I'm saying they get 4 more.
Oh, you mean over? Okay. So
yeah.
6. Okay. You know what? I'll take you on that.
Okay. Let's do it. It starts today. It starts today. If they lose to the Falcons, it's fucked. The whole bet's done. I'll just do a shot today.
I'm looking at this team that won 2 games so far and traded away everybody in their organization and going, yep, 5 more wins coming your way.
Yeah, man.
The entire season's just garbage time at this point.
It's coming.
Whole season's garbage time. I love it.
It's coming. Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just
Cardinals.
my only thought is this. You got a bunch of teams right now that are going to be fighting for positions. I think the Bills are going to need that game to figure out
I'm saying.
seeding or
I'm saying.
something.
I'm
So
saying
they're
they
going to lose.
do. I'm saying they
The
do. I
Bills are
don't
going
have
to,
them
so the
winning
Bills are
that
going to
one.
win that game. I'm going to say that the Jaguars are going to want their game, so they're going to win that game. So that's two right there. And I'm going to say Atlanta probably going to want to probably going to want to try to play a little tough game. Maybe the Patriots have it locked up already. They don't need the game. But hey, you keep Drake May warm, second to last game of the season, and you sit him in the last game of the season, give him 2 weeks off. I
Yeah,
don't think you.
I think the
I don't
Pats
think
have
you
the
take 3 weeks off.
Dolphins week 17.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's I'm fucking. I don't give a shit about that game. I'm sitting him. But you give me Drake May against this Jets defense going into the last game of the season where you get a 2 week. Where you're basically getting a 2 week bye, and watching him play 3 quarters and destroying them, and then sitting his ass down to close out the fourth, and he gets to sit down for 2.5 weeks. Like, yeah, no, I think
That might be the crux. Is like, can the Jets beat 2 quarters of Drake May and whoever the hell the backup quarterback is? Probably like Bailey Zappi still.
Bailey Zappi? It was remember when they had Mike White, Bailey Zappi, and fucking and Mac Jones, and I was like, which guy is which?
Right? It's like the 49ers.
That's what they did. It is the 49ers.
Oh.
It's just the same thing. Didn't they?
I remember we talked about this earlier this
Garoppolo?
year. It's Josh Dobbs and then Tommy DeVito,
Oh,
which is a
Tommy
wild
DeVito.
quarterback room. That's a wild quarterback room.
You got the passion Forget about it.
Cardinals Buccaneers. Obviously, the last game, this one, and the next game are all very important for the NFC South. What do you have on the Cardinals Bucks?
Bucks need this like they need it. They need this bad. They were one of the teams when I was looking at Bucks and Colts. I was thinking, these are two of the top teams in the NFL just a few weeks ago, and now the Bucks have shat the bed if I have ever seen it happen. So
3 in a row,
just not a good look for them. And like, what do they do to pick it up? How can they bring themselves back up after this? And don't get me wrong, those 3 losses were to very good teams. So you have to close out
like their losses are playoff teams, but when your goal is to go to the playoffs, you need to be able to beat playoff teams.
You can't lose to all the playoff teams. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, don't get me wrong, closing out the season, like the Panthers are going to be angry. They're still going to be playing. They're going to play spoiler on you. You got to play them twice in the last 3 weeks. Which is not going to be, which is just a weird way for the NFL to do that. I don't know why.
It might be for the division. Like those games could very well be for the division.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, I guess that makes sense as to why they did it. They saw something that we didn't. We clearly did not see the same thing. But they got the Saints. They got a Falcons game. They got the Dolphins. So they got to win this game against the Cards. They really have to push to get themselves to be the leader in this. And if the Panthers win the division, Rick. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, that's the NFC South,
division,
right?
What do you say about?
No. What was it? It was like 11 straight seasons without a repeat champion in the NFC South.
That was the NFC East.
No, this is going back to like when the Saints won the Super Bowl, like 2006 through like 2015. They never had a repeat champ. I mean, this division has been the definition of parity since they restructured the divisions in 2002. Like, all these teams suck all the time. And like anyone can take this at any time. And we see it, right? I mean, how many times have we written off the Panthers this season? And then we're talking like, oh, this could be one of those spots. And then they just like win 3 games in a row. And we're right here again. And we're talking about the Bucks being at risk, and like we're legitimately saying like, well, the Falcons should be putting their best product forward because they have a chance. It's like no one wants to win this division. No one's going to go get it. And so I have the Bucks winning this game, but this feels like one of those NFC South games where the Cardinals win this by like 20 for no reason at all.
Kick returns, fucking block field goals and punts. Look, I'll tell you this right now. We have seen some good quarterbacks come out of this division. Right, we have Drew Brees in it for a while. We had Matty Ice in there for a long time. We had
Tom Brady.
We had Brady in there for a hot second. So we've seen that usually the one franchise. This division usually has one franchise
Jake Delhomme.
All right, you're going too far back. It's too far. It's too far. It's too far. It's too far. We've seen this division have good quarterbacks that kind of carry a team for a little pocket of time, and I thought this was Baker's time. Like I felt like he was ready to be that guy. Looking at the other quarterbacks in the division and just not feeling the confidence in them, not feeling the consistency. I mean, hell, C.J. Stroud's record, or not C.J. Stroud, sorry, Bryce Young's record is still sub 500. Spencer Rattler's a child. And and so you look at the rest. You look at the division. You go, okay, well, this should be the Bucs should be clear this up. And now we're sitting here like, holy shit! Like the Panthers are the best team in this division. Like, what are we doing here? So I don't know. Ed, you're right about the parity of this division. It's definitely been one that's been that has had a lot of competition over the past years. I would argue, honestly, that this one, and then probably the AFC North have been two of the ones over the past decade or so that have been the most hotly contested divisions. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this game. I'd have the Bucs winning it, but we're in Arizona. The Cardinals can just randomly pull it out. We'll see what kind of product they put on the field. It really comes down to what product the Cardinals put on the field today. The Bucs, I feel like they're going to pay hard. They're going to play tough. They can get outmatched in sometimes, but if the Cardinals put a good product on the field today, then it'll be a tighter game than we realize.
Let's jump to Rams Panthers. Is this another Panthers nonsense game? Is this a Rams loss?
Every game moving forward with this season is a Panthers nonsense game because I don't know what's going to come on the field. I look at these other teams and I look at the Rams and they're outmatched they are outmatched in terms at every single point. Your quarterback, your running back, your receivers, your D-line, your set. Like you're looking around and it's like, well, this game should be a lock, right? We're talking about Panthers playing at home. We're talking about the Rams who are basically in the driver's seat for the NFC. And so really teams, I mean, if you're the Rams, are you looking past the Panthers? Or are you saying, you know what, we're not going to take any chances here. We're going to put our best product on the field. We're going to play our game. We're going to force them to make mistakes, and we're going to rush the shit out of them.
This one's like 11-3 Panthers at halftime, and then it's like 34-11. Like just game over. There's no way. The Panthers are surprising. They can win some games. This one feels more to me like last week's Niners game, where maybe the Panthers show up and they play some good defense, but like the better team is going to win.
They still get outmatched. That's fair. Yeah. Speaking of outmatched by a better team.
Yeah, man. Vikings, Seahawks. I had to bench JJ McCarthy because, believe it or not, he's hurt. Not playing in this one. The other rookie is playing this week for the Vikings. I don't think it matters who. Max Brosner is his name. I don't think it matters who's under center. The Seahawks are going to have 200 yards rushing in this one and just kind of beat the tar out of the Vikings. They can't score. Their defense is good enough, but they can't score. So, yeah, give me the Seahawks going away in this one.
Not only that, but I think JSN is just going to push and try to get to 2K. So if we don't see 100 plus, 150 plus, 200 plus rushing yards, we're going to see something ridiculous here. Because that man's on a tear. Like he is just out here cooking. And at the end of the day, I know that's in the back of their minds. Like nobody is sleeping on that. They're looking and saying, "Hey, not only is he going to get is this a rookie receiving? No, we are. Was it J-Jet has a rookie receiving record, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe so.
Is this 1,700? Is it 1,700 yards? 1,500? I don't know whatever it is. Yeah, we have to look it up. Anyway, I'm thinking that JSN is going to hit the rookie receiving record this year.
He's not a rookie.
Really oh shit! It's 3 years in, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I was trying to figure out what you're talking about. He's not a rookie.
3 years in. Anywho, anyway, I think he'll be the league's leading receiver this year.
Bucky Irving, active. He is coming back this week.
That helps.
Expected to be a committee, but is important. Bills, Steelers. The loser of this game misses the playoffs. I don't think that's a bold declaration at this point, but I have the loser of this one done.
Bills have a better chance. The Steelers lose this game, they're probably out. Bills have a better
Steelers
chance.
Steelers obviously
Just
in
because I
first
think they
place
still
in
have
their
better pedigree.
division. Only a game behind the Bills? Weird football, man. I love the NFL.
We expect the Steelers to be a 500 team, just above 500. That's all we expect from them.
That's
So
what the boy does. That's
that's
what he
what we
does.
do,
He
baby.
trips players on the field, and he goes 500. Google it, youngins. Cheating this ass coach in the whole
500 or
league.
more, 500 or more, 500 or more. Hey, look, 3 head coaches in 100 years. I mean, why not?
Oh, you almost got me to say something off color. Almost. Their biggest legacy is tripping a player on the field and the Rooney Rule.
That is not at all the biggest legacy. Their biggest legacy is having a quarterback who crashed on a motorcycle with no helmet and somehow survived, and then went out there and played football.
He had another thing, but I can't remember the legal status of that other thing, so I'm not going to say it.
Uh,
Raiders, Chargers. My first take was that Chargers by 10 felt a little disrespectful
it does
because the
not,
Chargers aren't that good.
but the Raiders are that good.
Well, yeah, and that's where I came back around to. That actually feels about right. I don't think the Chargers are 10 points better than anybody, but I think the Chargers can beat the Raiders by 10 points in this game. You're the Raiders guy. Ooh, it's a lost season, but what are you looking for from this team to make you feel good about 2026?
I'd like to see Gino not throw a bunch of interceptions. I'd like to see some completions. I'd like to see Genty actually be more than just a pass blocker. Um, because at the end of the day, they need a run game to be able to give Gino some breathing room. But if your offensive line can't block, it doesn't matter whether you need him back there to pass block, and he can do that. The problem is that he just doesn't get. They're just they're not built right now for the competition. They're just not. I mean, keep Bowers next year. Get the biggest fucking receivers you can find. I don't care how slow they are. Get the biggest receivers you can find, and I don't care if you have to bunch cover. I don't care if you have to bunch the line. I don't care if you have to play three tight end sets. I don't care. Just figure some shit out to be able to get the ball down the field. Brock Bowers can't be the only person. He just can't be the only person doing any work on this offense. Obviously, we know he's a great tight end, but it's going to be up to really Pete Carroll looking, analyzing, and letting these guys in the front office know what this team really needs to be able to move forward in next season.
I really like Kamani Vidal. I'm not sure his role with the Chargers moving forward when everyone is healthy next year. Obviously, they drafted players high to play them, but I really like Vidal. I hope he gets some more run. What a fun player to watch. But I don't know that this game's going to get any run for me on TV this afternoon.
If it's on, I mean, really, that Bills game, that Bills Steelers game will probably take precedent.
Sunday night football, the Denver Broncos against the Washington football team. Sean, Scary Terry is back, and I can't think of a single fact that matters less than that lazy bum playing wide receiver for a team that is completely irrelevant. Give me the Broncos by double digits.
Yeah, they're just a better team. The defense is there, and they can score when they need to. I think at the end of the day, not having Jaden Daniels healthy this season has just made it that much more difficult for Washington to do anything at any time. They don't put a consistent product on the field. They got injuries left and right. I think this season has been a sense of unhealthiness for them. And it's just a season they're going to have to put behind them. And I'm sure they're hoping next season that they can really make an impact in that division, but it's just not their time yet. I think that this was an unfortunate sophomore season, but it is one that we can understand. It's plagued by injuries and inconsistent play, and it's not much you can do about that. Like, I'm sorry, you can't. You're not going to win a division. You're not going to win playoff games. You're not going to do anything with Marcus Mariota as your quarterback. It's just not happening.
I do appreciate they went and got a guy who is like the light version of their starting quarterback. I don't agree with it necessarily, but from a continuity of game plan, it helps all your other players continue to develop. I mean, he sucks, but he is a light version of Jaden Daniels. So you can continue running that same offense, but with all the other injuries they have, I'm not sure that it worked. But you can't plan for your entire team to be hurt and your star wide receiver to be a diva and hold out. So,
True.
Giants Patriots Monday Night Football. Jackson Dart is back. It at least gives them an edge. I don't think they beat the best team in football, but I'd rather watch the game with Dart to see who the Giants can be. Although obviously I'm a big Winston guy, and Winston playing the Patriots would be fun. But I think for the team, for the organization, seeing what Jackson Dart can do, because he is still unproven, right? I mean, he's fun. He's a cool story. The Giants were playing really well, but we haven't seen enough of Dart to know if he's actually good or not.
They've got a future in Dart. They see it. They really like it. They love the energy. They love what him and Scatterboo kind of bring as a tandem. You're right, man. Jameis Winston's just such a fun guy to watch. He does everything that a team ever asked him to do. Jameis Winston is what Taysom Hill was supposed to be.
Yeah.
I think he was what he was supposed to be, dude. I think he was a guy who they're like, he can do anything. Let's just put him on the field and see what he can do. He can. I know you do. Obviously, you do. But that's what But Jameis Winston is what Taysom Hill was supposed to be. In my opinion, he's got a fucking laser of an arm. He absolutely can. He can throw it. Imagine Jameis Winston playing fullback.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
They're like, oh, is he going to hand it off? Nope. Throw it 50 yards on the field. Oh, is he
like essentially wildcat with him, man? Like
he blocks and then splits out. No, their wildcat is two quarterbacks. Their wildcat is two quarterbacks with Cam Scatterboo in the middle, and it's in the back. What do you do?
I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, it could work.
Who's going to run at you? I don't know, but it's going to hurt.
Give Russ the clipboard and let him hang out on the sideline. He can call the plays.
Honestly, if he called the plays, it'd be way more interceptions. I think his vision, even though it's better, still ain't that great. I think that he's a fun person to be on the field, though, and I think that any organization would be happy. I would love the Raiders to pick up Jameis Winston. I'd let him be my backup quarterback or my starter over Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew or whatever the fuck the Raiders have back there in the locker room. It's just terrible. It's just bad. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, I took the Patriots in this game. Although I can see Monday night, Dart coming back, the electricity in the air. I could see that the Giants make this a tight game. Their defense is significantly better than people realize. And I think next year they're going to be able to put a better product on the field. I think the Giants might be the challengers for the NFC East in next season if they can really keep it together. But Patriots is just too well-rounded right now. So I'll take the Patriots in this game.
Yeah, it's got to be cold as shit at Foxborough, too.
Always.
You got anything else? I've got Bam Knight and Marvin Harrison Jr. both active for the Cardinals. Everything else kind of as you'd expect. Olave's in. Tyler Warren is in. It's about all I've got. You have any other call-outs, Sean?
DeMercado's out. So obviously we're looking at who's the running back for the Cardinals now?
Bam.
I can't even
Bam
know
Knight.
who it is at this point. Oh, it's Bam Knight. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, because Benson's
that's all I got
as well.
I mean,
so
yeah, let's say I mean, it was a fun week on Thanksgiving. I'm glad that we got a chance to well. I'm excited, and I would like for this season to close out with some really, really fun games. Yeah, just a great day to watch some football.
I lost my connection at the very end of this fucking episode, but we were good. We were good till then.
No worries. Another good day of football slate. Enjoy the time that you have with this break, guys. Finish it up next week. We have the 50-50. We're doing the volunteering, the Cardinals game, Club 602, Shield and Wings. Come out, support. Great organization. great projects. We do really, really good things for the community. So really, really excited about this week to get through this football week and then get into next week as well.
Yeah, make sure you get your picks in. Give us your game of the week winner in the comments. No one ever gives us the game of the week winner in the comments. Just put it in there. And we're ready. We're ready to rock, guys. So
This week for my trash bin, I'm going Falcons. Falcons straight up, and then let me go with Niners spread.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go Jets straight up and give me the Dolphins on the spread.
Fair enough.
All right, guys. Check out that. And make sure you get those picks in. Thanks for joining us, yelling and screaming. Enjoy the balance of NFL Week 13, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.